There's a strange kind of tiredness that doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from doing nothing about the thing you know you should start. You wake up already exhausted. Not because your body worked hard, but because your mind carried unfinished intentions all night. Ideas you didn't act on. Plans you postponed. That quiet promise you made to yourself and broke again, and you tell yourself the same sentence you've been telling yourself for years. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. I'll start. Tomorrow I'll be ready. Tomorrow I'll feel confident enough. But tomorrow keeps moving, and the truth is, you're not afraid of failing. If you were, you wouldn't even think about trying. You're afraid of starting. Because starting forces you to face reality without excuses. Starting is the moment when imagination ends and accountability begins. When something stays in your head, it's safe, perfect, untouched. But the moment you start, it becomes real, messy, imperfect, and that's uncomfortable. Most people think fear looks loud. Sweaty palms, panic, anxiety attacks. But the fear that ruins lives is quiet. It sounds reasonable. I just need more time. I need to learn more first. I'm not ready yet. I'll do it when things calm down. That fear doesn't scream. It negotiates. And it wins by delay. You don't notice it at first. Because you're still busy. Still surviving. Still functioning. But slowly, something changes. You start feeling behind, not compared to others, but compared to who you could have been by now. And that feeling is heavier than failure. Failure hurts once. Regret hurts every day. The reason starting feels so hard isn't laziness. It's identity. Because starting means admitting, this matters to me. And when something matters, it can disappoint you. If you never start, you never lose, but you also never grow. Think about how many versions of your life exist only in your imagination. The disciplined version, the confident version, the financially stable version, the focused version. They're all waiting, not for motivation, not for courage. They're waiting for a decision. And here's the uncomfortable truth no one likes to hear. You don't need more motivation to start. You need less emotional attachment to perfection. Most people don't start because they secretly want their first attempt to prove something, that they're talented, that they're special, that it was worth waiting all this time. But starting doesn't prove talent. It reveals gaps, and gaps bruise the ego. So you protect your ego by postponing action. That's why I'll do it tomorrow feels comforting. It gives you hope without risk, but hope without action slowly turns into self-betrayal. You begin to stop trusting yourself. You promise things you don't keep. You delay things you care about. And slowly, your confidence erodes, not because you failed, but because you didn't try. Confidence isn't built by success. It's built by keeping small promises to yourself. Starting small is embarrassing. Awkward. UNDERWHELMING. And that's exactly why it works. High performers are braver. They're just more willing to look foolish at the beginning. They don't wait for clarity. They move and let clarity catch up. Most people wait for confidence before action. But confidence comes after action. You don't think your way into a new life. You behave your way into it. And behavior starts small. 5 minutes of work, 1 page, 1 application, 1 uncomfortable conversation. The mind hates this because small actions don't feel heroic. There's no rush, no applause. Just repetition. But repetition is where transformation lives. Here's something you need to understand deeply. Your brain is designed to keep you safe, not successful. Starting something new threatens safety. It introduces uncertainty, judgment, comparison, the possibility of being seen. So your brain does what it's supposed to do. It delays. It distracts. It convinces you to wait. This isn't weakness. It's biology. But biology doesn't care about your potential. That's your responsibility. At some point, you have to decide that discomfort is no longer a valid excuse. Not because you're strong, but because staying the same hurts more. The pain of starting is sharp but short. The pain of staying stuck is dull, but endless. And here's where most people get it wrong. They think starting means committing forever. It doesn't. It just means committing today. Starting doesn't mean you'll never stop. It means you'll stop lying to yourself. It means replacing I will with I am. And that shift is powerful. I am working on this. I am learning. I am building. Even if it's slow, even if it's ugly, even if no one notices, especially then, because the quiet phase is where identity changes. Nobody sees you showing up early. Nobody sees you practicing alone. Nobody sees you choosing effort over comfort, but you see it, and your brain records it. I'm the kind of person who starts. That identity compounds, day by day. Hesitation loses its power, not because fear disappears, but because action becomes familiar. You don't stop being afraid. You stop obeying fear, and that's the difference between people who change their lives and people who keep planning to. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, understand this. The perfect moment never comes, because the perfect moment requires a perfect version of you. And that version is built after you start, not before. Every person you admire once stood where you are now, confused, uncertain, unready. They didn't feel confident. They felt committed. They didn't eliminate fear. They acted with it. Starting doesn't mean you believing yourself. It means you're willing to find out who you could become. And that's a risk worth taking, because one day, if you don't start, you'll look back and realize something painful. It wasn't fear that held you back. It was comfort. Comfort disguised as patience. Comfort disguised as preparation. Comfort disguised as tomorrow. And tomorrow took years from you. So here's the invitation. Not the pressure. Start badly. Start tired. Start scared. But start, not because you're guaranteed success, but because you deserve momentum. You deserve a life that moves forward. Forward doesn't happen tomorrow. It happens the moment you begin. Subscribe to Rise Together. We grow quietly, but we grow strong.